darkness onto our knife, and who knows, just pop up into the sky. Paboosh! And we're going to get really tall on this guy. We're going to really climb up, right? How tall do you want your little mountain section to be as we come in here and just kind of bounce? Pull it over to the side. Maybe we come up a little further. We don't all have to be little pyramidal shapes. You can be a little flatter in some areas. You can do whatever you want to do. That looks very jagged. Like a little toothy mountain. Whoo! I like him already. Okay, let's come over here. Let's drag down a lot more of this color, right? We can scrape it up from certain areas, add it to other areas, extending the mountain already. We're not just going to use the knife to make it. We're going to have this knife dump some of our color randomly across the canvas, right? Just like this. However we want our mountain to be, that's how it's going to be. But we don't have to add all the paint with just our palette knife, right? Just smush some stuff up there. And then let's go see what it looks like. Let's grab a 1-inch brush. Bam! Just like that, right? Grab our 1-inch brush. This is a Bob Ross 1-inch landscape brush. It's just like this. I use the paint with brand brushes as well. Come down here, grab that guy, and just based off of our pressure, how far can we slide that mountain out? Maybe it comes down this way. Right? Continues to roll down the hill. Just based on where we're grabbing, we're not really sliding anything else out, right? Maybe we grab a little bit more of that color. Pull it down that way. Start to build our little mountain section, right? How's yours look? That's how mine looks right there. Let's take the other side of this guy and we'll pull him off in the other way. Because it doesn't have to be the same way all the time. I like having a little multiple directional mountain, right? Say this guy right here, he actually dropped straight down and then hit that same side. And that guy came in front of him like that. All these little things you can do just by pulling down. And we come straight down back here. We hit a spot, boom, we went the other way. We can take all this stuff and it'll be a whole nother piece of that ridge that's already connected. So let's grab a bit of that darkness. Come up and connect onto that ridge, right? And pull it down that way. Very cool. This mountain's taking over my whole scene. Can't let it go so big. All right, let's come down here. I'm gonna pull straight down on the right-hand half of the mountain. Hit, go to the side. Pa-boom! Come down this way. How far do you want your little guy to slide down? That's the question that's up to you. Not me, madam. Totally up to you, right? Very cool. Take this guy. What if we take him and just slide him off? Now, based off our pressure, I can either drag all that dark color over here or I can let it fade away as it gets towards the side. Right? Up to us what we want, but I never like the mountain to go all the way to the edge of the canvas. That just seems kind of foolish. We don't want to go all the way over here because we're going to have to add more paint onto that guy, right? Now we'll have our little bit come up this way. We've got our shear wall, got a little piece over here. Let's add a little touch back inside here, just a little ridge going off this side. Doesn't need to be humongous because I don't want to lose all this pink down here. It's gorgeous! Woo! Someone said I sounded like Goofy when I did that, like he's falling down a well, like, like falling down the well. Apparently that's what I sound like when I get really excited, just like that. Oh, guys, oh, it's insane. Look at this mountain, right? But I don't like how super peaky it is up here. So let's take it and adjust it a little bit flatter, just by pulling it. Right? We can decide what we want it to look like. It doesn't tell me what it looks like. I tell it. Come up here. A little bit more to the edge. All right, I'll have another little drop right there, right where I want it. Goop, boop. A little bit, little thing. One more little peeker. Why not? Just like that, right? Make them all scraggly on the top. Again, these guys need to come down, right? Boom, boom, boom. Now we're going to take this other guy, streak him off to the side. Off to the side, off to the side. Now, this isn't the final shape of the mountain. It's just what it's going to look like until we go to highlight the guy, right? Not adding too much paint down around the bottom. Got this really pink area down here. Some pink up in our sky. Oh, it's going to be... You have to like fall down as you do it. Okay, let's mix up a little bit of color. All right, we're going to leave a little bit of our white and a little teeny bit of that blue. And let's mix that guy up down here. Come over on the side, we'll mix up this little blue and white pile. Now, it's going to be a very sky blue color, even though we use the Prussian blue, which is the darker of the blue colors, right? Because I'm out of the phthalo blue. If you guys can go hit my Amazon wish list and send me some more phthalo blue, that'd be fantastic. And maybe I can get back to some phthalo bluey scenes. So, over here, we're going to mix up a little bit of that blue, and then we're going to come in and grab a little touch of our darkness, right? Just about most of it. bring it down and dull that color down to like a bluish gray versus a bright sky blue. Now it's kind of a far off, stormy grayish blue color. Okay? Thank you for the gifts on TikTok. Love you guys. Let's come up here like that, grab some of that blue off of our knife, and come up along the side, just straight down in those real sharp little cliffy areas back here. All right? Straight down. Doesn't even have to go all the way down. The snow might not have anywhere to sit on this sheer vertical cliff back here. Very cool. With just a couple little bits, we can start to highlight what we want to be seen as our sheer cliffs. Okay, now off the back of this guy, we're going to need to put a little bit of that snow, dump it off of our knife, just starting to build its little pattern out there, right up to the top, a little bit over here, a little bit over there. Turn the knife if you have to. All right, scrape up a little bit more of our paint. Over there, 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 right? All depends on what you want it to look like. Being very flat to the canvas. So our knife is almost touching the handle. It gets a lot of color on it because it almost touches the canvas every single time. All right, say we came down here and we had a little bit of that shadowy mix coming down off of this guy. The snow came and hit and slid down. Little bit, little bit, little bit. Don't want to have too much because we're going to come over here with a whole other section of white. Oh, it's going to be fantastic. Just fantastic. Now, what if there was one more little guy right there? Boom. It's totally going to make sense when I show you guys in a second, okay? Now, let's come up here, grab about double the amount of white that we just grabbed, and just a little sneak of that little tiny blue pile that we made, right? We don't want to go super blue on this one. We don't want it to be the same. We want it to be very bright, but we want it to be off-white, right? We don't need it to be pure white. So in this instance, we've mixed just a little bit of that blue in there. And that way it won't be the purest, whitest of whites that we can possibly get onto our canvas. Now we'll come up here, scrape a little bit of that guy, and say we came off of this guy back here. Start dropping in little pieces, little bits. Coming down our little hill. How do we want our little mountain to look? Right? As we slide down, the paint picks up in little different areas. Right? It's not us that it's telling that are deciding where the paint goes. It's the paint telling you where it wants to be. If it doesn't collect in a certain area, then it's not supposed to be there. Right? Don't try to force it down into that spot. Let's come over here. Let's grab a little touch of that white. Come down off this little sheer ledge right there. Get a little piece of shadowing off the top. One little touch of white going the other way. Just like that. Right? Little bits. Little details. All you need. Now, we're probably going to need to mix up some more white snow, but let's come up here. Whip this guy down right along the edge. Just let it come off your knife however you want it to happen. Right? However it's coming down in your mind. Angles, angles, angles. Always more to the side than down. You don't want to go at like a 45-degree angle. It ends up looking really funny. Let's come up here like this, shaking it, pulling it off to the side, and now we've got this wicked, wicked sheer like edge right over the top. Right? Take this guy, light him up over the edge down here. Starting to pull our little snowy bits everywhere. They don't have to touch. They don't have to fill in every spot. You don't have to do anything. You want to have those little breaky bits. Those are my favorite parts of the whole painting. The whole thing are those little breaky parts, right? Come up here. My achy breaky parts. Those are my favorite part. The whole painting. My achy breaky parts. Come up here like this into that blue again, pulling down the other direction. Picking up some of that pink even from our little snowy highlights down here. Look at that, you guys. Right? Never like it to be such a perfect line up on the top, so let's jiggle it up a bit, just so it's not a straight thing. We got all these crazy things happening down here. Crazy action news over on this mountain. Right? Pulling these guys down a little bit further, make up a little bit more of our snowy color down here. Just a little touch. I never mix up enough. No matter how much I grab, it never seems to be enough. Let's pull it down this way. And the only reason that we want a little light color down here is so that we can make our misty fog out of it, right? Gotta make that foggy mist. The fogginess. That's one of my biggest questions all the time I get. How do you do the misty, foggy part? I go, well, you gotta kind of watch the show, and I'll show you every single step I like to show you. Right? So, come down in there. Let's add just a little bit more of the white around the side. Again, just for the fog to react with it. We don't need it to be a highlight, right? Because this is on our shadowy side. but we do need a bit of white paint in order to make our foggy mist. So you can even scrape up if you got a little bit too much. Dump it on just by changing the angle of the knife, right? Scrape, deposit. Scrape, deposit. That's how you do it. Right, now let's take a big old 2-inch brush over here. Look at this, like we took ripped a whole chunk out of this mountain. I want to see what's like back here. Is there a cave that goes down inside back there? It's really cool. Okay, let's take our brush like this, very lightly, coming across it. And I leave that white paint there to show you just how softly you have to touch. Right, just so soft that we don't move the paint, but we get rid of some of the little details. That's all, a couple little bits. Right, come over here like this. Now let's imagine we had our knife attached to the handle of our brush. We used them either which way, right? So if we came down this way with our knife, we're going to have to go that way with our brush, right? If we came down straight with the knife, we've got to go straight up with the brush. Very lightly though, very light. We're not trying to drag the paint. We're not trying to do anything but soften it just a little bit, right? So again, came down this way, came down that way. On this little bit of white, we went up that way, went down, came up this little hill just so lightly that I'm barely touching the brush. And I'm trying to hold another tool as well, just so lightly, right? You don't have to do it hard. Come over here, very light touches, very light grazing of the paint. If you can make it almost to the tip top, you're pretty good right there. All right, you don't have to go all the way to the top. Just kind of graze it up there in the opposite way that we pulled it down. So we came down, you go up, right? Came down, you go up. Came down this way, so we go up this way. Same thing, not trying to drag the colors or anything like that. Just trying to soften the look of that paint just a little teeniest bit. Little soft. That's all you got to do. All right, now, let's drop that knife, grab up the 2-inch brush, and then start tapping out like a typewriter. Right? Go, beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff. Ding! Then we start down underneath. Ding! Right, over here, tapping it just with the corner of the brush. Pulling it outwards, making more mountain, just like a typewriter, underneath. Just slightly under, slightly under, slightly under. Maybe we'll come up a little bit more on this guy. Tapping, 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 right? What do you want to see? What do you want to be hidden in the fog? Totally up to you guys. Right, now, if we've been going this way across our whole mountain, right? That bristle out of there. And tapping this way and this way and this way, just like a clock. Now we're down to about 6 o'clock, right? From 3 o'clock down to 6 o'clock over here. Are we going to continue to go this way against the grain of the mountain, or should we rotate our brush and start doing our little typewriters this way with the grain of the mountain? You guys got to let me know. Up to you, and I'll do whatever you say. Unless it's the wrong answer. Get a quick drink right here. Let me see what you guys are saying. Give you some shout outs. Let's see. Yeah, future painting tool, all-in-one tool, right? That'd be cool. We need to rotate. We need to go from 6 to 9. That's good, right? We went 3 to 6. Now we need to go 6 to 9. Hey, the Custom King. What's happening? Remember, guys, this one is available for sale. If you go to paintwithjosh.etsy.com, you can grab this one up. It's number 1040. 1040. Now, say we're coming in here again, just little bits, right? Tap into that snow, drag it out. Come back, tap into it right above, drag it out. Over here, drag it out, right? The more snow you grab, the more mist you're going to drag down. Right? Keep going just like a typewriter, though. Don't try to go all over the place. Doing it randomly is not going to work. Type it out. Type it out. It's like reverse. It's like Da Vinci writing. Or mirror writing with a typewriter. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Right? Sometimes we come up a little bit over here. Or a little bit up into there. Right? Wherever you want it to be different. It doesn't all have to show exactly the same. Maybe this guy right here where I want to put my cabin. Maybe I need a little bit less snowy paint, right? So we get a little bit more mistiness. We still know that it's there. We know the mountain lives right there, right? We just can't see it because it's so far back. So let's take these guys, swipe it up from the side, all the way around like a clock. So down here we're about 6 o'clock, and then 5, and then 4, and then 3, and then we're done. Boom. 9 to 3, 3 to 9. That's all you got to do. Definitely don't go up on top. Oh, man. Stay away from 9 to 3. Just go 3 to 9, okay? Don't go 9 to 3. That'll be bad. All right, guys, this one is really turning out to be one of my absolute favorites. I hope none of you guys purchases this one so I can keep it and look at it for a while. Jeez. All right, let's mix up a bit more of that dark color. Since we burned through the stuff that we already had, right? Let's go through here.